Hello students, how are you all? My name is Aisha and today we're going to study social science here for class 10. Okay, so we'll start. We already finished with your one history chapter if you remember. Now let's start with your next geography chapter, unit 1 under your geography. So which is the unit 1 here? It is India, position and extent. So we are going to learn about India here. What are we going to learn about India? We are going to learn about India's position and its extent. Okay, till how long it is extended. You see, I have a map in front of besides me. Okay, that is the map of India. So we're going to learn how what is the extent of India in the north, south and east, west, and in the world how the position is given to India. Okay, so first let's learn about India. For that let us use this globe here. So you see, I have a globe in front of me. Okay, is this visible to you? Is the globe clear and visible to you? See, this globe here is divided into hemispheres. Hemispheres meaning half spheres. The whole thing is a round oval shape, you can see, right? It's round like. Okay, but the whole thing is further divided into half spheres. How they've divided? First top half and bottom half. Okay, that is called north hemisphere and south hemisphere. Similarly, they've divided into right half and left half, which is east hemisphere and west hemisphere. I hope you're well aware of directions. This is north, south, east, west. Are you aware of those directions? North, south, east, west. So where is India? Let's find India here in this globe. See, you see this pink color? This is our country, India. You see this pink color? This is our country, India. Isn't this similar to that map there? This is just smaller in size, okay? So where does India lie? If you pay attention, this is this line will not be very visible to you. It's a fine line which is dividing the whole world into east and west hemispheres, okay? Whichever places are coming right to the line are on the east hemisphere, and India, our country, is also coming on the right of that line. So where are we? We are on the eastern side. Also, is it north or south? Are we on the northern hemisphere or the southern hemisphere? See, if you pay attention, this is the line here. This is the line here which divides the world into two hemispheres, this line. So India is lying in the northern hemisphere. Okay, this India is in the northern hemisphere, and also north and east hemisphere. So you see, India is lying in the northern and eastern hemisphere. Is it clear to you? Can you see this country, India? This pink colored country here, it lies in the northern hemisphere and the eastern. So how are you going to give the location? We are going to say India lies in the northern and eastern hemisphere. Okay, is the globe clear to you? Okay. So see, now in this lesson we are going to learn properly about all the extent and location of our country, India. So as I showed you in the globe, India lies between the northern and the eastern hemisphere. I told you what is the hemisphere, right? The whole globe or the whole earth is divided into half circles. Okay. Let me draw the globe here for you, or the earth here. Suppose this is the earth. I am not very good at art. Let's assume this is earth. The earth will be divided into here like this. Northern hemisphere and southern hemisphere. Also then it is divided like this also. This part is the eastern hemisphere. This part is the western hemisphere. Is that clear? Now I showed you in the globe. Where does India lie now? India lies here. India lies here, which is northern eastern hemisphere. Did you understand how to read? Okay, read this globe. Suppose India would lie here, then we would call it southern. Okay, which side is this? Western. Southern western hemisphere. But now it is in the northern eastern hemisphere. Okay, is that clear to you? So that is one important point you have to remember when you're talking about the location and extent of your country. Also, we have to learn about the latitudes and longitudes here. So what are latitudes and longitudes? See, latitudes are lines which are See this. First we'll talk about latitudes. Latitudes which are lines which are horizontally running. From where? From the east to the west. Horizontal. See, in this map you'll be able to see some lines here which are going horizontally from east to the west. Okay, there are many lines like that. Those are called latitudinal lines. Okay, also we have longitudinal lines. Those are running from north to south. Lines that are running from north to south are nothing but longitudinal lines here. Okay, so we have to learn now where India lies exactly. So India, when you talk about latitude, it lies in the north, right? See, latitudes which lie above the northern, this line are called the north latitudes, and those which lie below are called the south latitudes. Okay, similar will go with the longitudes, east longitudes and west longitudes. Okay, is that clear to you? So latitude extent of India is, it starts from 8 degrees and 4 minutes. How do you read this here? You see this? That's read as minutes. 8 degrees and 4 minutes north, and then it extends up to 37 degrees and 6 degrees north. Okay, I'll show you here. So this line that you see, this latitudinal line that you see here is 8 degrees and 4 minutes. Also, as you go above, see the dividing line will be somewhere down here. Okay, so that dividing line will be 0. This dividing line will be 0. Okay, so from 0, as we go above, the number will go on increasing. So as we come here first, it will be 8. Then you see 12, 16, 20, 24, 28, so on up to what? 37 degrees and 6 minutes. So that is the latitudinal extent of India. What is the latitudinal extent of India? See here, 8 degrees and 4 minutes to 37 degrees and 6 minutes. This is very important. Please keep this in mind. What is the latitudinal extent of India is very important. 8 degrees 4 minutes to 8 degrees 4 minutes to 37 degrees and 6 minutes. Okay. Let's come to the longitudinal lines of India. I told you longitudinal lines are lines which are running from north to south, isn't it? North to south. So which are the longitudinal lines here? Okay, see here, longitudinal lines are running from the east, because the country is lying in the east, right? Our country is lying in the east. So all the longitudinal lines will be called eastern longitudinal lines. All these longitudinal lines will be called eastern longitudinal lines. So how are they running, or from where to where? These longitudinal lines, east longitude, are from 68 degrees 7 minutes to 97 degrees 25 minutes. Okay, 68 degrees. The first longitudinal line here is here. Okay, you see the reading is given here. 68 degrees 7 minutes to 97 degrees 25 minutes. You see how it's given here? 68 degrees 7 minutes to 97 degrees 25 minutes. Okay, so you see what is the longitudinal extent of India. The latitudinal extent you studied already. It was 8 degrees 4 minutes to 37 degrees 6 minutes. Also, the longitudinal extent of India is 68 degrees 7 minutes. This line here is 68 degrees 7 minutes, and it goes up to 97 degrees 25 minutes. 97 degrees and 25 minutes. You understood what I'm talking about? Did you understand this concept? Okay, we're talking about the boundaries of India, the last line of India, where exactly they are lying. Okay, in the north, the topmost position, and the south, the southernmost position. Which are those positions? We will learn now. Okay, so I hope this longitude and latitude lines are very clear to you. This is very important. These two readings you have to remember very well. The latitudinal extent are the north latitude, which are 8 degrees 4 minutes which goes up to, here it is 8 degrees 4 minutes, up to what? Up to 37 degrees 6 minutes. Also longitudinal extent is 68 degrees 7 minutes here, and it goes up to 97 degrees 25 minutes. So is this clear to you? Okay, now let's come to the next point here. In the south, which is the southernmost or southernmost position. See, the southernmost part of India is the Andaman and Nicobar Island. You remember Andaman and Nicobar Island are islands which belong to our own country, right? These islands belong to our own country. So in those islands, they are in the southernmost place, Andaman and Nicobar Island. Okay, and in this island, particularly in Nicobar Island, there is a place called Indira Point, which is the southernmost position of India. Okay, Indira Point is a place in the Nicobar Island, which is the southernmost position of India. So what is the latitudinal extent of that position? Latitudinal extent of that position is 6 degrees 45 minutes north. Okay, 6 degrees 45 minutes north. If this is asked for your exam, it can be asked for your exam as a question, which is the southernmost point of India. Which is the southernmost point of India. Then you have to say that the southernmost point of India is the Indira Point. Where is the Indira Point? In the Andaman and Nicobar Island. In this Indira Point here is in Nicobar Island. Okay. And what is the latitudinal extent of Indira Point? It is 6 degrees 45 minutes north. Is that clear to you? 6 degrees 45 minutes north is the southernmost point of India, which is Indira Point. Similarly, we have the northmost point of India. See, you know, in the north, our country is covered with Himalayas. Okay, in the north, we have Himalayas running from here to here. Okay, in the north, we have Himalayas. So, obviously, the northernmost part will be a mountain range. This mountain range is called Indir Khol. Okay, Indir Khol is a mountain range. Where does it lie? It lies in Jammu and Kashmir. It lies in Jammu and Kashmir. Some part of Jammu Kashmir India has, right? So in Jammu Kashmir, the northernmost point is Indira Khol. And what is the extent is not given here, but Indira Khol is the northernmost position of India, which lies in Jammu Kashmir. The northernmost position here of India is Indira Khol, which lies in Jammu Kashmir. These 2 points are very, very important here. You have to know which is the southernmost point or the southernmost point and the northernmost point of India. The southernmost point is Indira Point, which lies in the Nicobar Island. Also, the northernmost is the Indira Khol, which lies in Jammu and Kashmir. Also, I told you these 2 points are very important to remember. Which are the point? The latitudinal extent and the longitudinal extent of India. The latitudinal extent of India is 8 degrees and 4 minutes. Here only 8 degrees 4 minutes. It goes up to 37 degrees 6 minutes. Okay, that is the extent of India. Also, when you see east to west, it is 68 degrees 7 minutes to 97 degrees to 5 minutes. So east to west are going to count. Okay, we're going to count from here. You're going to count from here. So this point here will be 68. Sorry, you're going to count from here. Okay, this you're going to count from here. This way you're going. So you're going towards the east. So 68 degrees, how many minutes? 7 minutes. And 97 degrees, 25 minutes. That is how you're going to count the extent of India. Is this clear to you? Okay, very good. Now next, another important point here. Okay, the Tropic of Cancer. The Tropic of Cancer. Now what is Tropic of Cancer? You know the whole globe. I showed you the globe, right? I told you this middle meridian is there. This is called the meridian. Other than that, we have 2 more lines. One which divides the northern hemisphere and one that divides the southern hemisphere. The one that divides the northern hemisphere is called Tropic of Cancer. The other one that divides the southern hemisphere is called Tropic of Capricorn. I am sure you have learned this in your previous classes. I am just giving you a quick revision here of that, okay? In the globe, okay, in the middle we have the meridian. Then the northern meridian is further divided with the help of a line, okay, middle point. That middle point will be called the Tropic of Cancer. And the middle point in the southern hemisphere will be called the Tropic of Capricorn. So now India, I told you India lies here. See, I've already marked it. So obviously this Tropic of Cancer is passing through India. Tropic of Cancer is going through India. Okay. So see here where exactly it is. If you see this map very closely, you will easily see it. I can see it very easily. Here it's given Tropic of Cancer. Okay, it's given big letters, but I think through the video you cannot see it very clearly, but it's here. I'll mark it for you. Tropic of Cancer, it moves here in this direction. It's given by dotted lines. So you see it is crossing all the states of India. So which all states is it crossing Tropic of Cancer? It is going through Gujarat, it is going through Madhya Pradesh, it is going through some part of Chhattisgarh, then Jharkhand, then West Bengal, okay, and there it is passing to Tripura and then Mizoram. See, the Tropic of Cancer passes through India, through so many states of India. And that is another very important feature of the latitudinal extent, or the you can say extent of India, that the Tropic of Cancer is passing through India. It is passing through many states, many Indian states. Okay. Also, we have the central meridian. Now, what is the central meridian? Central meridian is particularly a longitudinal line which is passing exactly through the center of India. Where it is passing? Exactly through the center of India. That longitudinal line is called the central meridian. Central meridian. So, what is the extent of that? It is 82.5 degrees east. How are you going to read this? 82.5 degrees east. When they say east only, you should understand it is a longitudinal line. Okay, because longitudinal line will be given by east and west, right? So 82.5 degrees east is the longitudinal line which is passing exactly through the center of India. So the name for that line is given as the central meridian. Now see, I have written something in the bracket. Is this visible to you? IST. What is that IST that I have written? IST is nothing but Indian Standard Time. Indian Standard Time. So with the help of this central meridian, we have decided the standard time for India. Now, did you understand what I am trying to tell you? Let me explain this to you here. The whole country will be having one time, right? Even if you are in the northernmost part, even if you are in Indira Kol, okay, suppose one person is standing in Indira Kol, suppose another person is standing in Indira Point. Suppose here it is now, what is the time? It is 4:10. Okay, suppose it's 4:10 p.m. here. Will it be 6 or 7 o'clock here in Indira Point? No, right? It will be the same time there in the northernmost place also and the southernmost point also. The time will be same. Why? Because these places are lying in India only, and no matter where you go in India, you go to the easternmost part or the westernmost part or the northern or the southernmost part, or you stay in the center, the time will be same for you. Why is that? Because we are all following the time system called IST, Indian Standard Time. And how do we decide the standard time? Based on this central longitudinal line that is passing through India. Now, based on this line, we are going to say, okay, this time it is passing through Kolkata. Okay, so Kolkata is the center. Okay, whatever time it will be there, whatever time it's there, that time will be followed by the entire country. As soon as you move little northern, little more ahead of Indira Kol, the time will change. Why it will change? Because their country's time is something else only, no? For our country, the time will be same for everyone. Whatever time is decided by the central meridian or the Indian Standard Time, that meridian is going to decide the time. Okay, that time all the countries are going to follow in India, or sorry, all the states are going to follow in India. As soon as you move northwards, southwards, eastwards, westwards, the time is going to change. Okay, as soon as you cross the border, time will be changed only for them. Time will be different only for them. Okay, though in your watch it will be same, but you have to assume that time, your phone, if you have a smartphone, suddenly if you cross the border, the time will change. Why? Because they follow some different system of timing. They have some different standard time. Okay, for us the standard time is whatever it is in the center, that standard time we have for entire boundary of the country. Now, why do we have one standard time here for the whole country? Isn't it very much better if we have one standard time for the whole country? That's so much better, right? If the whole country has only one standard time, we do not have to there's no confusion happening. No matter in which part of the country you are, the time will be same. There is no time difference here in our country, which is because of this IST, Indian Standard Time. How do we get this Indian Standard Time, or how do we decide the Indian Standard Time? With the help of the central meridian. What is the degree of the central meridian? That is very important here. It is 82.5 degrees east. The central meridian is 82.5 degrees east here. Is this clear to you? Is this clear to you? So is the location of India very much clear to you, children? Okay, I have explained to you each and every point very nicely, the location of India. In your textbook it is given very brief, but I am explaining you more in detail so that you understand it well. Because this part is very important. As Indians, we have to know the location and extent of our own country, right? So see that you learn all this very nicely. Please remember these two by heart. Okay, latitudinal lines are north 8 degrees 4 minutes to 37 degrees 6 minutes. Also longitudinal lines are towards the eastern lines, and that is 68 degrees 7 minutes to 97 degrees 25 minutes. Okay, also the southernmost point you have to remember, which is Indira Col in Nicobar Island. Then you have to remember the northernmost point, which is the southernmost point is Indira Point. Okay, northernmost is Indira Col in Jammu and Kashmir. So now let's come to the extent of India. Let's talk about the extent of India here. So see, in this extent of India, we are going to learn about what is the area of the country, and we are going to compare it with the areas of other countries. Okay, so what is the area of the country exactly? It is this much. Shall I read this for you? Total area, can you read it? Ones, tens, 100, 1000, 10,000, lakh, 10 lakh. So 32 lakh 87,263 kilometers square is the area of our country. Why you have to write kilometer square here? Because area is written in kilometer square, right? If you don't write kilometer square, it is wrong. If you write only kilometers, it's wrong. Areas has to be mentioned in, or the SI unit of area will be in square, kilometer square. So what is the area? Let's read again here. Okay, it's 32 lakh 87,263. 32 lakh 87,263 is the total area of our country. See, India is the 7th largest country in the world. 7th largest. So there are 6 more countries which are larger than India. Okay, but India is the 7th largest. Also, which is an important point here, very important, is when you see the total area of the world. You see, I showed you the globe. The globe has all different countries, places, continents and all that, right? So in that totally the area, okay, we're considering only land. We're not going to consider water here. Okay, so only when you consider land, out of that 100% area, India occupies 2.42% of the total world area. India occupies 2.42, it's not even 2.5, it's a little less only. It is 0.08 less. Okay, 2.42% of the total world's area lies in India. Okay, so India is taking so much space. Out of 100%, it is taking 2.4. It's not much, right? It's very small. Okay, though India is the 7th largest country, but still the areas taken by India is very little. Out of 100%, it's taking only 2.42%. That's so little. Also, east to west, how much kilometers it is there, we're going to learn. Okay, east to, when you if suppose you want to travel from east to west. Okay, you want to travel through road. or however, but directly through east to west are going, not going anywhere else. Okay, so east to west the kilometer will be 2,933 kilometers. Whereas this is the comma that I have drawn. Please don't think it's one. Okay, whereas north to south, if you want to go from Indira Col to Indira Point, suppose. So what is the kilometer there? It is 3,214 kilometers. So what is the north and south extent of India? It is 3,214 kilometers, whereas the east to west extent of India is over 2,925 kilometers here. So that is very, very important. These 4 points that I have written are very important here. First is, we have to remember very well the total area of our country. So what is the total area of our country? It is 32, what is that? 32,87,263 kilometer square. Also, it is the 7th largest country in the world. So if you consider the total area of the world, which is 100%, India occupies 2.42% of the total area of the world. Also, if you see east to west, how many kilometers are there? It is 2,933 kilometers. From east to west of India, 2,933 kilometers. North to south, 3,214 kilometers. Next, we'll talk about the frontiers of India. So what do you mean by frontiers here? Frontiers here mean nothing but the boundaries. Frontiers means what? Boundaries of India. So you see, the whole country has boundaries here, right? The endings, the edges are called boundaries. So we have two types of boundaries here. See, in the north, if you notice, mostly we have land. Other countries we have Himalayan mountains. Whereas in the south, we have mostly what? Sea area, right? So in the south, we have the sea boundary or the sea frontier. Whereas in the north, we have the land frontier. Okay, so see how much land frontier we have. In total, including the Himalayan mountains and all that, we have 15,200 kilometers of land frontiers. Okay, whereas water frontiers, 6,100 kilometers of water frontiers. Okay, so how much land frontiers? 15,200 kilometers of land frontiers and 6,100 kilometers of water frontier. So what is the total coastline, total boundary line of our country? Total boundary line of our country is how much? What is this? 7,516.5 kilometers. Okay, 7,516.5 kilometer is the total coastal line of our country. So we have seas on different side. Okay, which side we have which sea? Let's see here. This is the east side, right? On the east we have, can you read this? Bay of Bengal we have on the east. On the west we have Arabian Sea. On the south we have Indian Ocean. On the southwest we have Lakshadweep Sea. On the, which other sea do we have? Okay, we have only this many sea. Andaman Sea also we have in the southeast. So see here total seas are given. We have Arabian Sea in the west, Indian Sea in the south, Bay of Bengal in the east. Okay, these are the different seas we have. Arabian Sea in the west, Bay of Bengal in the east, and Indian Ocean in the south. These are the different seas that we have for our country. Also, our country has 7 neighboring countries. How many neighboring countries do we have? 7 neighboring countries. So, which are the neighboring countries here? See, can we point out some neighboring countries here? Let's try to point out. Here, there is one, Pakistan. Then here there is Afghanistan. Here there is China. Here there is Tibet. Then there is Nepal. There is Bhutan. There is Bangladesh. And one Myanmar. And one more here, Sri Lanka in the south. Okay, so we have all these different countries which are neighbor. In the south we have Sri Lanka, in the east we have Myanmar, Bangladesh, in the northeast region we have Bhutan, we have Nepal, we have Tibet, we have China. In the northwest region, this is not west, okay, this is northwest, right? Northwest region we have Afghanistan, Pakistan, and all these places. These are our neighboring countries. Are they 7? Count: Pakistan, Afghanistan, Nepal, Bhutan, China, Bangladesh, Myanmar, and Sri Lanka. So in total we have 7 neighboring countries for our okay, 7 neighboring countries. Okay, so in this 7 neighboring countries, we are not going to consider Sri Lanka. Why are we not considering Sri Lanka here? See, if you count this 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 are coming, but ma'am has written only 7 neighboring countries. Why so? Because see Sri Lanka here, see how far it is. Is it very neighboring to us? Is the boundary touched? Is the boundary between Sri Lanka and India touched? No, right? There is sea in between, so that is not considered to be our neighboring country. Okay, we leave that and all the other 7 total countries we count. Okay, whereas this is separated by the Gulf of Mannar and all those Gulf. Sri Lanka is separated from India with the help of the Gulf meaning the sea. Okay, small sea. For example, Gulf of Mannar. Then we have Palk Strait. Okay, Palk Strait, Gulf of Mannar are the 2 you can say sea which are separating India's boundary from Sri Lanka. So we do not consider Sri Lanka. This is an exceptional case here. Sri Lanka is an exceptional case. Why is it an exceptional case? Because we are not going to consider that as the 7 neighboring countries, or we are not going to include it in the 7 neighboring countries of our country. The 7 neighboring countries would be Pakistan, Afghanistan, Nepal, Bhutan, China, Bangladesh, and Myanmar. Okay, Myanmar. Also, let's talk about next the administrative division of our country. So what do you mean by administrative division? Administrative division means, see, for the better working, no, we are going to divide the whole system. For example, your school will be then divided. Then first you have a chairman of your school. Then we have vice principal. Then we have teachers. Each person has a different work to play, right? So you can give different work to different people very easily. Similarly, the whole country will be divided into different states. Why? So that the functioning or administration is carried out very properly or very efficiently. So how is the administration divided? See, the country, our nation has 28 states and 9 UT. What are UT? Don't write UT for exam. This is Union Territories. What are they? Union Territories. Among the 9, the Delhi's capital, New Delhi, is also a Union Territory. Okay, the nation's capital, New Delhi, is also a Union Territory. Okay, 28 states and 9 Union Territories. Now this would be your work. Okay, sit at home and make a list of all the 28 states and 9 union territories of our country. Okay, then you will get to know how many you have. The newly added state is Telangana. Telangana is the newly added state of our country. Newly it is added. Initially it was not there, but now recently it has been added to our country. Which state? Telangana is a new state which is added to our country. Also, Rajasthan is the largest state of our country. Which is the largest state here? Rajasthan is the largest state of our country. And if you are learning about the largest state, you also have to learn about the smallest state of the country. So which is the smallest state here? Goa is the smallest state. Rajasthan is the largest state of our country. So this is how the administrative of your country is divided. It is divided into, if you count here, there are totally 28 states and 7 union territories of your country. Okay, in that Telangana is a newly added state here. Rajasthan, where do you see Rajasthan? You see this, where is Rajasthan here? Okay, you see this yellow color? This is Rajasthan. This Rajasthan is the largest, and you see this small green color here, only this much. That is Goa. Okay, so Rajasthan is the largest state, whereas Goa is the smallest state of our country. Is that clear to you? So okay, let's do a quick revision here for you people. What are the frontiers of our country? Frontiers are nothing but the borders, the bordering areas of our country. So which are the frontiers? We have two type of frontiers if you pay attention. We have sea frontier and we also have land frontier. So which is the sea frontier here, or how much sea frontier do we have? We have in total the boundary. Sea is, water frontier is 6,100 kilometers and land frontier is 15,200 kilometers. Also, what is the total coastal line of our country? It is 7,516.5 kilometers. Okay, then we are going to discuss about the different sea which surrounds us. In the east we have Bay of Bengal, in the west we have Arabian Sea, then in the south we have the Indian Ocean. These are the three important seas that surround us. Also we talked about the 7 neighboring countries. Okay, Sri Lanka is not included. Why? Because it is separated by Gulf of Mannar and Palk Strait. Okay, so which are the 7 neighboring countries here? They are Pakistan, Afghanistan, Nepal, Bhutan, China, Bangladesh and Myanmar. So administration wise, to do good administration, our country is further divided into different states and territories, union territories. So in total we have 28 states and 9 union territories. So which is the new state that has been added? That is Telangana state. So which is the largest state of India? Rajasthan. And the smallest state of India is Goa. So with this we finish with our first chapter here. In one session only your one chapter of geography is over. Okay, in this lesson you learned about the location and extent of India. Not latitude, I mean you have to learn about the latitudinal and longitudinal lines. Also you need to learn about the different neighboring places of India and all that different thing. So you've learned completely the location and extent of India. So with this I finish with your first lesson. Please go through the lesson, read the lesson nicely. Also whatever notes will be sent to you, go through them very thoroughly. Thank you for watching class. Have a nice day.